It is now 11:59. We'll start a minute early. Call this meeting to order. We have a committee member that is joining us virtually today. All the rules apply to the meeting as if everyone was attending in person, and if there is a problem with technology impacting the proceedings of the meeting will be recessed at the direction of the chair to confirm technology is performing effectively before proceeding further with the agenda. In the event of connection or service disruption of those attending electronically, the chair may recess and allow the meeting or attempts to reconnect. Notice is hereby provided to that the meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the township website under the authority of the Municipal Act and in accordance with the Ontario Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. All information provided for the meeting is considered part of the public record. I'll call meeting together here, looking for an adoption of the agenda. Parks, by member Mr. Miller or Marshall, rather. All those in favor? Are there any declarations of pecuniary interests?
None.
Seeing none, we'll move forward to the minutes from the previous meeting. 3.1, confirmation of the minutes for the third session of the Renewable Energy Fund. Committee awards 2 and 3 subcommittee, February 21st and 28th, 2023. Recommendations that have been adopted, circulated. Are there any dates or anything? I get someone to approve both the previous minutes.
So moved.
Ms. Parks, second by Marshall. All those in favor?
Aye.
Reporting from any unfinished business from the last meeting. None. Reporting from council, recommended council policy change from Ward 1 and Ward 2-3 joint subcommittees from the meeting of August 25th, 2022. To committee the whole in May and June of 2023. The following directions provided by council that renewable energy vibrancy policy change we further reviewed and a committee of the whole meeting and supportive of merging the two subcommittees. Terms of reference will go back to council for approval. There was a financial update that was circulated. I'm wondering if council parts get it directly to email. Okay, perfect. Are there any questions to the finances on the update?
Nope.
None. Forward. To the grant applications, 7.1, the first Amherstview Bass Scouts Group. Are there any questions regarding the application? Seeing none, are there any members here that would like to speak to the application? Go ahead.
So I gathered this from paperwork for you guys. I do have a financial statement, a bank statement here, and a facility agreement for the last year, and the new facility agreement has been sent to us 2 different times. I'm a little miffed. We've been in the hall for, I've been group commissioner probably 12, 15 years. And before that, my kids went to the hall, and we have not been charged because we're doing service to the community. I explained to the council that we are not funded by Scouts Canada. Any money that we charge goes to Scouts Canada. And the fundraising we do is for the youth. This is going to take away from it. So we're looking to ask for requests of money from the renewable energy policy. You want to look at any of this stuff? It's here. I'm glad to give it to you. I just a little miffed that we're getting charged all of a sudden.
Okay.
And I know it's not you guys, but I know it's coming from council. But just Yes,
Okay.
because we are all volunteers.
Good question. Record of why was the change? That was just the came from council,
Through the chair, that would have been done through the Recreation Division. They are reviewing the council ad hoc policy, which will be also reviewing free use of township facilities. So that will be coming back to council.
any questions from any of the committee members?
One question, sir. For the $5,000 that you were requesting applying for, it's also for the fees, plus you want to buy equipment and all that for your. I know that I'm involved in Boy Scouts, Cubs and Rovers, all that stuff, and I understand. And I get surprised myself, but I can understand what the cost and really keep kids active. Something has to be done sometimes, and you can't only raise so much money. And I realize sometimes you have to care for the community. That's to get your feet back in the ground again, so the kids can enjoy their. Now, is your association now is it co-ed?
Yes.
So it is co-ed.
Yeah, so we have girls and boys from the ages of 5 to right now 14, because we don't have Voyagers or Rovers in the Amherstview Bath area.
So the Cubs and Scouts are all meet together as one group.
Yes, Bath is, so it used to be Bath, it used to be Amherstview.
Yeah.
When I took over, I inaugurated the change of the neckers to 2 colors. As you can see here, Bath was the blue and orange, and Amherstview was the red and yellow. So, like I say, for girls and boys, I probably have about 15 girls between 3 years, Peters, Cubs, and Scouts. We have 40 kids.
This camping, when you go over to Rockville, is it other with the other troops together, or is this the Fisher troop by itself?
It's Cubs and the Scouts.
It sounds to me that if you're doing a volunteer, that's a job. So I'm all for this 5,000. I'll get you guys back on the beat. No problem at all. Thank you.
Anything from member Parks? Any questions?
No questions. I just did want to comment in regards to, the rental fee. Hopefully when that report comes back to council, that there can be something done with that and not charging for these not-for-profit organizations that support our youth. So in the meantime, at least this is an option to help fund that. So I think it's hopefully there'll be some changes coming, but in the interim, then there's at least some funding available.
Sure, thank you. And one thing I can add, if that does happen, it'll provide a little more funding for if you go back to rent free. I don't know how it's going to come back to us at, but yeah, anyway, no matter what you're going to cover. So anyway, any other questions?
I would have something well about the Amherstview Lions Club. This group has been very helpful in anything that we've had to do with the public. I know years ago we used to give out hampers, and they were right there helping us the night before and in the days preceding to make sure that everything was in the proper box and everything, all the labels were read. And I can still remember a kid grabbing a box of craft dinner, sliding onto the table, and getting over to the right box. It was amazing. They're always there. We're hoping to ask them to come help us with the breakfast with Santa moving forward. I'm sure they'll just jump at the opportunity.
And we also help the Bath Lions Club and the Best of Lions Club needs any help. We're willing to step forward for them.
So I don't know if any other questions. We'll be looking for a motion.
plan that we wanted that we accept. First, and receive, go through by 5,000.
Second? Or any comment from the mover? Comments? Seconder, any other comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think this is a great opportunity for the youth in our community. I know growing up, my family was involved in Scouts Canada, and my mom was a club leader, and my dad was involved in more of the administrative side. So it definitely is something that helps the youth and gives them lots of skills and life lessons. So I highly support this.
I'll have a question. We will vote on this. And all those in favor? Aye. Passes. 7.2. Amherstview Lions Club. Hi, Barbara.
This is a parade route. I'm here to ask for $5,000 on behalf of the club for the parade. We're currently running a food bank, and we're just a little shy of finances. And I've met with the township. And Amber and Lindsay T. And they've been very helpful. They've been helping us develop the route. Would you like the parade route as well? Well, right now, we had to choose another route. We couldn't use the Henderson Recreation Center for staging and de-staging of the parade because they're going to be constructing a pool, and nobody knew when the pool was going to be constructed. Nobody knew when it would be over with once it started. And the other little thing is that the Amherstview Jets were having a game on the 5th of November, which is the choice for our parade. So it became obvious we had to go elsewhere and look elsewhere. And Township was very, very good about helping us. They mapped the route for us, and I took it back to the committee on the same day. That is the parade committee for the Lions Club, and they were agreeable to it. So far, so good. I have applied for a road closure permit, and the treasurer will increase the insurance for that day. And the committee agreed to this. So we're looking at a parade for Sunday, November 5th at 1 p.m. And it would leave from behind Amherstview Public School, from the parking lot, hopefully. I've applied for the parking lot at that time, but they want to give the school first choice. So we'll wait and fall. So we leave from there and go up Amherst Drive and make a left on Manitou and a right on Briscoe, and then onto Upper Park Road and back to de-staging at Amherstview Public School in the parking lot and on the street. So we've had some good progress. Limestone School Board wanted the board name included in the insurance certificate, and I've done that and sent that certificate to the board. Permit for the parking lot is on hold until the fall, when the school has sent its plans for the year to the board. I have emailed Zone Chair Ron Ducharme of the Kingston Lakeshore West Lions Club, and they are kindly going to go in and put hot dogs and hot chocolate for us after the parade at the Amherstview Community Hall. And the Amherstview Community Hall is within steps of the staging and de-staging of the floats for the parade. Township will approach the OPP, thankfully. We've always had to do it by ourselves in the past, and the fire chief. We've always had to do it by ourselves in the past. I'm worried about the overhead wires for the ladder truck for that parade route. And although my husband and the president, Del Weber, said, oh, it's fine, but I worry about overhead wires for the ladder truck. So I've emailed Lindsay T and Amber about asking the fire chief to check it out. I should have another meeting with Lindsay and Amber soon. They're busy. They go to Bath. I bet you they go to Odessa as well, but they're all over. I will send out emails for entries for the parade before July 25th. Lion Bruce and I have prepared 13 letters to businesses in the area for donations. there are 13 other businesses we need to approach. And the committee is looking to sponsors for trophies. We have a list of 7 trophies. It costs about $50 for each trophy. And so if we look for sponsors, then that's $50 less than we have to pay. So I've applied now for the Loyalist Township grant of $5,000 for the parade costs with 9 pages of documentation and 8 attachments. I will meet with Renewable Energy Grant Committee for an interview on June 19th at noon in Odessa. And that's all I have to say right now. Is there anything, or do you have any questions?
Thank you. Partial fine, Ms. Marks?
No questions here. Again, I
just have one comment. Little disappointed that you have to work around other people. It's a smaller parade route, although it's.
No, it's exactly the same. We measured, we drove over the car twice. So 2.8 kilometers.
Very close to my house. So
And
I'm
this
okay with
is
that.
3 kilometers now, so it's a little longer.
Very close to my house. On the street. So if we have no questions, concerns, for any questions about the application or to the applicant, looking for a motion.
The motion that we accept the grant of $5,000 towards the Amherstview Ice Club and towards the venture. And at least pay for the families that passed around.
And then parts, comments from the mover. Seconder.
just again, another worthy cause of anything that brings the community together, I think is well worth supporting.
Absolutely, I agree. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes. 7.3. Loyalist Business Association application. You be from that, okay, do you have any presentation, any or questions that you were maybe looking to have answered, speak to issues?
Presentation is our application.
Yeah.
And your the layout to develop the Loyalist Business Association and basically get our name out there. We want to get as most of the impact out there as soon as we can to our residents, so that everybody can benefit from this. Basically, we feel businesses in the area can benefit from more advertising and more publicity. If people know about them, they're more active to use them. We want to create awareness for them, help with the political participation so we can get involved and see where things are missing. Statistics and that type of thing from our projects, using the website to kind of build an overall characteristic of the atmosphere locally and target the areas where we can do better. Bring in people from out of town as well to help with our seasonal businesses. There's just so much room for growth, and we feel that with the projects we've laid out here, in a sense, it's going to help our local businesses because we'll be able to promote them through our directory. It'll be a live one online where they can search keywords to find the businesses they need, that type of thing. It'll be more specific for members that pay to be a member of the association, but we also don't want to exclude any other local businesses. So we will have a non-member portion so that there's still visibility there for everybody. We also want to have the print directory to target the people that aren't necessarily technical savvy. and basically push that locally so everybody can have something in their hand physically to see what we're doing locally. So we have other things in the background growing as well, but basically getting these big ticket items off the ground is beneficial for timing and helping everybody right away as opposed to having it drawn out. So. I guess we've been doing some public consultation and polling and trying to see how people feel about local shopping and that type of thing, or basically trying to get a feel of why they're not shopping local or what is stopping them type of thing. Advertising is a big one, and convenience and price. So if we can all touch on like bringing more people into the area, then maybe these issues will be slightly eliminated. So pinpoint problems like I mentioned.
And just another thing I think we have the opportunity to put in the application is we are going to be creating a baseline and with the businesses throughout the whole process and continue it on every year. We're going to be getting analytics from the website to gauge the amount of people that actually going to view information about specific businesses. And we'll be polling the public. We're going to be polling the public. We did a recent poll to get people's input on local businesses, and it was an eye-opener. So it was very positive. One of the questions was asking people if they would be how important to them is in supporting local business, and we got a very high 88 from 45% of the total respondents said that it's extremely or very important. So that's very positive that they support the local. The problem is they're not seeing local businesses. They're not seeing the amount of the diversity of businesses we have. So that's where we step into that. And another question that we asked in the poll was, what's preventing me from buying local more frequently? And 44% said, I don't know what's out there, or I can't find what I want. So that's, again, just pointing to the fact that something needs to be done to help promote the businesses and get residents access to the businesses that they would like to support. I also want to tell you about a mistake that I made in one of the project quotes on page 2 of the project quote. I accidentally didn't put in the proper price for the delivery booklets for Staples. So the total amount, including HST, should be $8,780 for quote 3.
770.
Yeah, no, 4770 is correct, but the next line, delivery booklets, I put 3,000. I didn't put the calculation in the cost. So I didn't add to the 4770 plus the 3,000.
Okay, yeah, and those the two totals plus your HST definitely is more than 58 than 75.
Yeah. I just wanted to I caught that after the fact and said, oh, I apologize for that.
Yeah, so we do actively have a subsidiary website that's not as helpful as what we're looking to do. And it has been promoting local businesses with over 70 businesses for the last 3 years. And it is also a free directory and promotes local businesses. Kind of has like a farmer's market thing on the side. But that has kind of, like I said, been a subsidiary thing to this. So it's a build up to what we want to do. And we feel that we can only build on that, and make it better and more visible if we have the capacity.
And there's currently over 2,200 followers of that page. But not everybody actually clicks on follow, so they.
That is the
Yeah,
Facebook
we can
page
get it.
associated with the website. Yes. Basically, we just look into, for the marketing purposes of this, get us going to keep us expanding.
Do I have any questions from the members?
Yes, I do. I have a few questions here. I know you're trying to encourage local business, but we really don't have any local business here in Amherstview. We have nothing. And all the stores, what do you create? Employing their own thing, and all the only client, they won't hire no teenagers or seniors at all. Okay? So it's always been anyway, but since I've been here 22 years, we don't have no commercials for people that can create local business, create local employment. And we don't have nothing here. We only have one food store.
Yeah.
We have 3 pot shops. We have 1 restaurant. We have 1 business. That's all we have. All the rest of the businesses, of course, are like Taylor, which, you know, we do have the mechanics and managers and all that stuff, which is great. But for a little community, we're getting more and more houses built every year. And now we're being called the better community of Amherstview. We have no local businesses for local. And I know you're trying with this directory to create, but how can you have a directory when we don't have a local business for people to apply for a job? Part-time or temporary, don't matter. There is none. Well, that's right.
Business, but if we can help promote them and build up the atmosphere, then we can actually encourage businesses to open up locally. We can have other people move in. We have the Latham pools and other battery things coming in, but they could be sponsors to help us with these other things. We have brick and mortar businesses for sure, like all of the restaurants and stuff that you see the fish and chip place in Amherstview. But you also have all of the roofers and the plumbers and all of the other people that work out of their homes that still need the recognition. The bed and breakfasts, the marinas, all of those places, we have so much to offer locally. We have a huge farming industry locally, but those people don't even have the avenues to get their stuff out. We have a lot of independent people that are willing to be a part of this or join a market or go out and like promote themselves, but they don't have the avenues to do it. So if we can even facilitate like a job fair or a trade show or things like that, where businesses that don't necessarily have the food land or the pizzeria storefront, then we can bring them all together and actually promote what we do have. It's surprising that I've spoke to over 100 businesses, and half of them you wouldn't even know existed. You've got bookkeepers, you've got print people, you've got, print as in like designers of business, like print designers that actually do it out of their homes, but you don't know about them locally, so you don't think to use them. You'll go to Kingston before you'll stay here. So we could promote or we could do kind of like local advertising and have subscription boxes. So by or quarterly, biannually, you could have like specialized boxes that go out and promote each business that want to contribute to it and ship it to people that are willing to pay for it. People buy bark boxes for their dogs, so why wouldn't they buy a box full of honey and other baked goods, or even like a slip for a 10% discount on getting your eaves troughs cleaned? But those types of things are just not available to people. So if we don't have the avenue to support or even elevate somebody else's social media page just to support them to be more public, then we're never going to have the atmosphere locally that we need. And we're just going to have these high price over.
Okay, so when you're forwarding local business, nobody talk about contractors.
No,
A lot of local stores and other,
Oh, totally, and including them as
Okay.
well, because you've got the coffins and you've got
What?
the.
What storage, what
market.
actually storage do we actually have in Amherstview? Yes,
It's back, and you've got convenience stores in Wilton. So it's targeting the whole atmosphere, not just your brick and mortar stores. Yeah,
we will give you that, okay, and I understand get local contractors so people get their houses cleaned out, hopefully. Say the contractor case in or not, maybe whatever, okay?
right.
Might be with it. But the only trouble with the young families is they're always saying, I want to move back to Amherstview because they're bored by race here. But there's actually nothing children to do. Maybe they're not aware of the programs, I'm not sure.
Correct, I am a mother of a 5-year or a 6-year-old, so
Maybe this will help, but
I feel it. I don't know what's out there even for the community programs. There was a person in Odessa here that actually ran day camps a couple years back with canoeing and kayaking, but they're out of business now because they weren't able to support themselves locally. So there are a lot of things that are out there for children. Even on my scouting company here, like they could use the promotion, like to help spread the awareness for their fundraising event. But with this, we are also advertising an events directory as well to promote and help bring together the community as a whole so that we can actively build economic development in the area and support the people and businesses that are here.
Any questions?
Just a couple of quick questions, and I'm sorry, some of it's been garbled, so I may have missed this. Just wondering, the membership fees vary from what I see on your budget, your expenses, and just wondering sort of what the average cost is and whether that's a monthly or if it's an annual fee.
So the annual fee moving forward for the foreseeable future for each member is $75. And that would include a spot and a space in our directory with more specific information to that business and allow them opportunities to advertise with us at a different price. You might see a variation there as because we do currently have members enrolled and they initially paid $50 for their membership, which we are grandfathering in for the year so that their membership doesn't get null and void. But next year when they become a member, it will be the $75.
Okay, so that gives them the booklet and some presence on social media then, I guess.
That is correct. Yeah, they get listed in the print directory. They get visibility on the website with active tags for searches and descriptions of their businesses. Non-members get listed in the directory, but they get no extra information listed except for like a link to their website or a contact.
So essentially, we're trying to promote business in Loyalist Township, right? And I've watched this support local through the MPP. I've watched that program develop on social media, and there's lots of businesses that I didn't know, these small like mom and pop organizations that you're mentioning that I would never have known about without seeing that on social media. So I do like that idea. How many members do you currently have then supporting?
28 currently signed up.
All right. Just, and you may not know this, but how many businesses do you believe, or do you know, taking into consideration all these small enterprises that people can work from home, do you have any sort of idea of how many businesses could be targeted in Loyalist?
There's a minimum 300 to 400 for sure to target. That is a big range, but there are some that we don't even know about yet.
Right. Okay. Right. I think that's all I have.
First one, I know LA County is doing a good thing.
Yeah.
It's an LA thing. They have those
Naturally,
yeah, Absolutely. Have you reached out to the county to see what they're doing and possibly partner with them yet?
We have reached out to Stephen Paul. Haven't really gotten too far with our communication. He's a busy man. However, yes, that is exactly what we want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Right now I do and have been in touch with him for a few years now with my current website, the Loyalist Marketplace. And I do promote naturally LNA on my website as well, interconnected.
back to your website. So you started your website 5 years ago. What would be the difference between a new website that you're looking at and the current one that you've been using?
The current one I'm using is through a developer that's like pick and click type thing. It doesn't offer it doesn't have the capabilities of what we would like it to do. Basically, I just have a list of the businesses and a hyperlink to their information, which ultimately we would have the same thing through our business, but we would also have a sophisticated, like I said, way to search for these things. So if you typed in plumber or you typed in clothes or hair, any kind of keyword would bring you to a list of people within that category. It would also provide way more individual information. We want to provide ad space on the website as well for people to have more exposure if they want it. So those types of things we can't do through the current website, plus more.
Also for, sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
Search, when people search, they'll have an option. They're looking for their disability for plumbers. It'll show all the plumbers now, and then they can just click on it to continue.
Depending where they are in each town. That makes sense.
It's going to be very sophisticated website, and the functionality that can't be had with the current level that her website is at.
So looking at even possibly tracking and the tracking follow-up pay feature.
Yeah, I don't have the analytics or anything through the site.
Okay, next question, regarding your printed directory booklet. What kind of quantity were you looking at and what is the actual purpose? Like not a cold note, hey, this is each my candidate, let people know, like you mentioned earlier, the actual purpose that you were looking at possibly for what this would provide to the association.
I personally think it's a viable option just to put things in people's hands. So if they physically have it, they might use it. However, it does cater to a specific portion of the population, our older generation that doesn't necessarily want to turn to a smartphone, or maybe the people that still use the yellow pages to find things, just have it as a backup on their desk there as an option to find local businesses. Ultimately, I feel if people see it, it becomes more viable too. Like we are here and we're here to help you type thing, as opposed to just being another click of a screen type thing. But ultimately, it is a marketing tool. There will be advertisements in it as well. So it's not just like a booklet. It'll also maybe demonstrate what some of these businesses do as well. It's just a great visual overall. It is more of the, I would say, costlier avenues now, and I do realize that because print is kind of the way of the past. But speaking to the age range from the census, even locally, we do have an older population, 46 plus. So just having it accessible ultimately will hopefully make people look more local.
Notice that you're looking for 3 years of funding. I know this, however it comes through the committee, council still has the final say on everything. Just the rationale behind multi-year instead of just reapplying.
Right. Well, that is still an option for us.
Okay.
So initially, if we could just get the first year, we're totally willing to reapply and reassess and dig down and go through everything with you each year. That's not an issue. We'll totally be transparent. But initially it was just to maintain our current project for the next 3 years so that we can build up a more viable base for us to maintain and be able to support the businesses ultimately independently within 3 years and still offer these same services. So it's just kind of that helpful start.
Yeah, also how much are you, say for 3 years, how much would you apply for only 1 year? So I find out if we apply next year, we can have a better idea.
Yeah, no, that's
Who's
totally
applied?
acceptable.
How is it going for the businesses that are actually getting involved? And then the accounts might be able to say, okay, well, so maybe you might put a little increase next year after that. But for 3 years, I'm not in favor of 3 years. I wouldn't mind helping out for the first year, either beat the ground and take it from there.
Yeah, we're totally up for anything basically. We just thought we would add that in there because it is something that we will have to maintain moving forward, and it is a big expense. Not the 20,000 we're asking for the first year, but moving forward, it is still something that we want to continue and maintain for local businesses.
So we don't want you to be willing to apply for 20,000 for the first year.
That's correct.
And upon that condition, you come back maybe next year, you reapply. And that will be your better statistics show reality. Right?
Yeah. No, we're not against it. Just formality of asking a question in the application and
No, I'm waiting for that.
yeah.
When you're
So that is the $20,000 is to initially promote the website and the business directory. So all encompassing is the project to do the promotion of the business.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Ms. Marks?
I do, thank you. I just wanted to circle back to the print copies. I certainly understand with the aging population. I have, some family members that don't use computers, that don't have smartphones. So I do like the idea that there is a print copy that is able to go out, and I kind of see this as a similar package as what Loyalist Township sends out in regards to the recreational services and the amenities that are available and the phone numbers to contact Loyalist Township and all of that print copy that goes out. So I see it very similar to that. But I guess my question would be, because using your website and social media, you can track your traction, I guess, on who's seeing the website, you can get that information back. How would you do that with the print copies? And are you going to do print copies once a year, twice a year? I'm not quite sure what the plan is on that.
Initially, it is to do it once a year for the print directory because things do change frequently, and the cost of doing it biannually at the moment would be overwhelming. So it is a push to get it done once a year. It is something that we want to promote. Well, I'm sorry. You were basically saying that you want to know why we're pushing towards doing it that particular way, or but you asked the by month or how often, the frequency.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to, trying to understand with the hard copies how you're going to be able to get
track it. I apologize. Thank you. Yes, you can track it by obviously if you're delivering it home to home, or if you're doing targeted delivery. So if you were to put it in businesses and have people pick up copies, it's a lot harder to say like hard that I've delivered it to this many households. But there ultimately, I guess you could have, it is harder. You can have businesses pool their customers if they've used it or not. Like if you have a contractor or something, say, how did you hear about me? No, it is ultimately kind of like you say, towards the township publishing their information. It's just to have the information in hand as opposed to being able to say directly. It is a much harder thing to count or track, other than saying I've delivered it to this many houses and know that, like, that's my count of how many people should have seen it, but
That's good. And my question in regards to the frequency was, I could see there possibly being, Airbnbs, cottage rentals, some of those type of businesses that may want to advertise or want to connect through that service too.
I agree. We actually were confronted by a Camden Braes golf course, and that was one of their stipulations with joining the directory, is that they wanted a fall issue, or sorry, excuse me, a spring issue, because they wanted to push the spring for their summer golf season. So it is hard to kind of keep everybody happy, but initially with the cost and trying to slam it all out for this first year, we are just looking at a year, like 1 year, this year directory that will try and do its best to accommodate all of those things for the following season. But then moving forward, once we've got this established, we can start looking at other options, but we right now are aiming for a 1 year.
Thank you.
Last question regarding actually focus as well. I couldn't find it, could be smaller than print, I guess. I don't know if I'm seeing it, but the number of booklets you were looking at, you've got a cost in it, but it's just that wasn't.
I believe we did it for 7,000 printed booklets.
Okay.
7,500. Right in that ballpark to try and capitalize the main township households.
Yeah,
It is tiny.
yeah. Any other questions? All right, thanks for the question. I will be looking for a motion.
The Rural Business Association, I say that we will grant no more than $20,000 first year only. And we share that we plan to be re-applied in the future. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Seconder? Or seconder? Pardon me?
Oh, sorry, just give me a minute.
Sure.
I'll second that.
Any other thoughts? Seconder?
Yeah, I think Mr. Marshall comments about this being for the first year. I think the business group needs to, also try to promote this and try to get self-sustaining. This vibrancy fund and the renewable energy fund is for promoting economic development. So I am supporting it for the 20,000 for the first year, but I would like to see it come back, and hopefully they'll get some major traction with memberships and be able to support it and continue to grow it.
We're done. And for a vote, all those in favor, raise your hand. That passes. 7.4.
I messaged her.
Oh, you did, okay. Application 7.4 will just be a moment for staff member, the CAO, to join us.
Comment on the book, myself, on Facebook. And you have a smartphone, but not on Facebook.
Well, you know, I'm not a fan of it or any of those. Booklet myself, and I'm not bad at it. I would enjoy the booklet. Find out what businesses are in there. One question, you sir, so how many, we have the young leaders join the organization? Well, mother of attorney, but he's turning up as a leader and he's looking for something to do. And so, any other young people that are actually coming on board to help you out? I understand. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I know family members got dads and moms who have time because they get other activities going on. I would say younger parents about so when you're camping and Rockville, some of the moms and dads are up on, yeah, which is good. Nice cycle. I'm going to see that's that one. It's already years. I will be honest. We're doing our job.
On to 7.4, are there any comments from the applicant?
Anything extra to add other than I thank council for leading this initiative and the committee for considering this as a kickoff or a start to the reserve fund for physician recruitment incentive. Physicians are few and far between in Loyalist and the region, and we certainly have to be part of the unfortunate need to provide incentives to bring them in. So the idea is that this $60,000 would kickstart the reserve fund. The council has committed to inserting $60,000 annually in the operating budget to keep the reserve fund going so that we can recruit up to 5 positions over the next 10 years.
Okay, thank you. If you explain to these people here what the 60,000 is for, so the real score on the situation.
For sure. So council established a reserve fund for physician incentives. So this would allow the municipality to offer a physician $100,000 over 5 years. So they get $20,000 per year. So the what was approved is we would have money in there for 3 physician incentives per year. So that's what the $60,000 is. And it would go over a 5-year period to pay that physician that $100,000. The fund would be established and we would pay $60,000 every year, and that would be renewed, and then we can hire up to 5 positions over the 10 years.
Is that for one position or one nurse practitioner, or is it just for one doctor only?
So it would be $100,000 per position that they would be entitled to. They get paid that $100,000 over 5 years. So they get $20,000 per year. The fund with the $60,000 we're requesting, think that there would be enough in there for 3 positions to start the program. But if we didn't get 3 positions this year, at the time the money stays in the reserve fund, and it allows us to offer this incentive to other positions in future years. It is, and it is open as well to nurse practitioners. It would be at a slightly reduced amount of $75,000 rather than $100,000. We work with Kingston, who has a physician recruitment coordinator, to get the word out and to get that money up there.
Like an ongoing thing. This will be a 10-year program, actually. And probably revisited before that 10 years will be out. Sorry, any questions from from, Ms. Parks?
No real questions. We dealt with this for council, so definitely, I support it wholly.
Any other questions? Okay, I would look for a motion then.
There's a motion, to the corporation of Loyalist Township regarding the, county requesting.
Second? Certainly. All those in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you for all the 6 months, okay? How are you? My decision to retire in 6 months.
Are there, any upcoming, leads?
Through the chair, no meetings set as of yet. The third meeting hasn't been approved in the policy yet.
Okay.
So that'll be going back to council with the policy change. Yeah, so as of right now, the next application period would technically be in February of 2024. But that will, depending when the policy gets changed, that could vary.
All right, just a motion to adjourn then.
Motion,
Favor?
alternative.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.